So I guess that's a question that will remain unanswered. The thing that we want to do is I want to talk about the things that have caught my attention this week and that I think are worth bringing to you guys, right? So I think to start, we're going to talk about the weird amount of CSAM stuff that's been coming out. Not even specifically CSAM, just the amount of sexual misconduct allegations that are coming out right now. It's like another season of it right now. And you know, it's a good thing when allegations come to light. It's a good thing when that happens, partially because it encourages others to come out and say something about what they've experienced, right? That's a good thing. That is a net good. We love that. The thing that I think is interesting is that it doesn't seem to be centered around... We're moving this again. It doesn't seem to be centered around any particular industry right now. Because we have the Lizzo. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was probably so loud. We have the Lizzo stuff. The lawsuit from some of her former backup dancers about some... I want to call it broadly sexual misconduct, but I think some of the specific allegations were some weirdness around bringing employees to, like, while on tour in Amsterdam, to the red light district and, like, pressuring employees to do things that they were uncomfortable with is one of the main ones. And then the second main one is sexual assault in the very technical definition. Not that Lizzo was assaulting her employees for her own erotic pleasure, but that they felt either touched inappropriately or exposed inappropriately, that kind of stuff. At least that's what I'm getting from it. So that's one in this category of what the fuck is happening. Why we'll call it the sexual misconduct summer, right? That's step one of sexual misconduct summer. Step two of sexual misconduct summer is we have that freak Elon Musk who's running Twitter as quickly off a cliff as he can, reinstating or unsuspending the account of the person who shared CSAM material. And for those who aren't familiar with what CSAM stands for, it's child word on YouTube that they don't like when they use I forget what the A stands for. The M is material. So it's no pictures of kids and other material in that nature, right? That's CSAM. Yeah, there's a monster in the Philippines that got sentenced to like 100+ years in prison for the just rancid, monstrous stuff. And that person has been in jail for 10 years, has been in prison for 10 years. And some QAnon guy on Twitter was discussing this story, but unlike any of the journalists who are covering it, they decided to share some of the materials in the tweet thread. You're just spreading it at that point. You're not covering it. You're complicit in its distribution at that point. And then Elon is claiming that only people on the CSAM team over at Twitter were the only people who saw it. But that's not true, because it had, there's a screenshot that shows that it had at least 3 million interactions, which maybe this is Elon's mistakes coming back to bite him, and that he seems to be inflating engagement metrics to try to lie, but without lying, to advertisers to show that their investments were worth keeping on his platform, even though real engagement was down. He could say that, well, this video has had millions of views when it needs to play for 1 second, as long as, and then it starts playing if even like if the tweet itself loads into your timeline. Some just crazy, oh my goodness, Willow, just some crazy bar, this threshold that makes 0 sense for calling it an engagement to try and functionally lie to advertisers. Maybe that's coming back to bite him now, and that can be used to show that too many people saw it, and maybe that can lead to legal action. Who knows? I'm hoping. I'm throwing my hopes and prayers against the wall like spaghetti, and we're gonna see what sticks. Who knows? Not me. That's number 2. And then number 3 is in one of the spheres that I like to engage with on YouTube. I'll call it progressive YouTube. I enjoy myself some progressive YouTube. There was a whole thing from some content creators that I really enjoy called Xena and Poppy, discussing and talking with the alleged misconduct over a lifetime of another content creator called Lily Orchard. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. That's number 3 in the series. The season of the summer of sexual misconduct. I'll be back. Willow needs to pee. Don't mind me. I'll be right back. Okay, right. So we've got the 3 points in the summer of sexual misconduct. We have the Lizzo allegations. We have the Elon Musk reinstating the QAnon CSAM distributor. And then we have the Lily Orchard stuff. Oh my goodness. Not to say that that any of this stuff that is happening is a new instance of wrongdoing, a new victim being hurt. The day that these allegations come live, it is that the allegations have become public, right? This is where we get into the whole Lily Orchard thing. Goodness gracious. A pair of streamers. It's one account. It's called Xena and Poppy. It's got 2 names in it. It's 2 people, but they basically only ever stream together. I love the concept. Wonderful for them. One of them is like a licensed therapist and functionally like social worker sounding type thing is what it sounds like. And then I don't know what Xena does. I'm so sorry. I'm not caught up on the lore. I'm not a long time watcher. But I did see the whole thing about Lily Orchard, a name that I'm passingly familiar with. I've never consumed any of their content. I know that they were a larger content creator in the progressive YouTube space, and that they have kind of a history of weirdness. I have 0 firsthand knowledge about that person, and I have very little about Xena and Poppy, but what I do know is that they came with fucking receipts, dude. That was crazy. I would encourage you to go learn about it yourself if this is something that interests you. Oh, like that feels like a really weird word to use right now, but I'm really hoping you understand what I mean. If I'm not giving enough detail and you need more information, you can go do that. More power to you. But yeah, it's wild. And I think those are the 3 big ones. Oh no, and then Super Mega. How could I have forgotten about Super Mega? Yeah, the Super Mega stuff has come out about, and again, I'm not super up to date. I never really watched Super Mega. I mostly remember them from being the editors of Game Grumps back when I watched Game Grumps a lot more regularly. And they seemed fun and interesting, but apparently they had some, if not weirdness, some downright actual not good stuff that they did to a person. People, not super clear on it. I just know that it has been covered by a few content creators and that they have responded, and it does not seem to be an outright denial. So it is quite the summer, 2023. It is the summer of sexual misconduct. I am a little bit curious if, similar to there, it is well documented that during the summer, during hotter temperatures, there is a rise in violent crime, specifically like homicides and assaults and batteries. Um, I wonder if there's a similar correlation between rising temperatures and public allegations, lawsuits, that kind of stuff of sexual misconduct, because I don't remember when Me Too gained traction. Like what season? I remember that it was like, I remember it took up a lot of my brain space kind of like at the early parts of COVID. But that's most of what I remember. So like, yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious if that correlation exists. I'll try giving it a Google, but I don't think we'll get anything conclusive with a surface level Googling. But we will soldier on anyway. Let's give it a Google. It doesn't seem to be a documented thing. So I guess that's a question that will remain unanswered. Summer was relatively a vulnerable season for sexual assault. So it sounds like this ResearchGate, I have no idea how reliable this source is, but it seems that this would fall in line with the idea of violent crime being a seasonal thing. Rape and sexual assaults and aggravated assaults rates are higher in the summer than in most other seasons. Simple assault rates are higher in the fall. Interesting. And robbery victimization rates show no seasonal pattern, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics. Thank you, Google headline recaps. Wonderful. Yeah, I think that... Fuck. I really need to fix that. I need to fix that. Do we fix it live? Also, that was the meat of the segment that I wanted to talk about. That's hopefully getting turned into a YouTube bit that I can publish by like end of day today. We'll see.